Welcome, welcome. I am so excited to hear from a handful of our busy moms from our team, because we all know that as moms, these angelic little faces are so demanding. And as a mom, we feel like we are giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And sometimes we lose ourselves. Sometimes we feel like we are drained. And one thing that Plexus has done, products physically helping us to feel better, but the community just giving us that support and that encouragement and that cheerleading. You are doing a great job. We value you for who you are, not just as a mama, but just as a person. And but at the same time, as we're building a business, as we're being a boss babe, we've got to really there is no such thing as balance when you're a mama. So we've got to do our best to build a thriving business while still being there for our families. And if you work outside the home, or if you work in your home, because it is work raising littles, that still takes so much of our time and energy. So how in the world do we build a successful business and gain this financial freedom that we absolutely know is possible with this opportunity, while still being there for our family and for these sweet little angelic faces that spread jelly everywhere and paint on our walls and say mama, mama, mama 10 times to get our attention. So tonight we're going to hear from a few of the mamas on our team, and they are going to share how many kids they have, their big financial dream for their family, why they are doing this business, and of helping others and building a team and sharing the business opportunity with people, and how they fit that into their busy schedule. So we're going to start with Kelly. Kelly, you can go ahead and start right now and unmute yourself. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Are you unmuted?
Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me?
There she is. Yes. Go.
Okay. Sorry, I'm at the park. Okay, so my name is Kelly. I'm a gold ambassador with Plexus, and my big dream let me first start off. My kids, I have 3 boys, 8, 4, and 2, and they're pretty demanding. I know a lot of people say, like, girls are so self-sufficient, and she doesn't even need my help. My boys are so the opposite. They literally can't get a drink of water by themselves. So they do keep me on my toes. And it's funny because today my son has football practice, and then I have my other 2 littles, and I thought, my husband will be off in time for me to go home and do the meeting, and it'll be great. And then he ended up having to work a little bit later. So here I am at the football field watching my son practice, and my 2 littles are playing in the park right now. And I am also doing Plexus. So that is something that I totally treasure, because most jobs do not allow your children to go with you. So I think that's really amazing. One of my biggest goals for my family is just to be able to, if you guys know my mom, if not, then I'll give you a little background about her. She has been the biggest blessing to me and my brother and my sister, but she lives far away. And just the fact that she's there to babysit, she's there to just help and support. And so I want to be able to do that for my kids. I don't want to have to work forever. And I want this just to be my sole income and just love my job and be there for my children. So that's one of my biggest goals. I mean, I don't know what that means dollar-wise, but I just know that that's what I want for my family. So I guess just a couple strategies that I do throughout my day. I always stay up at least an hour after everyone is in bed. And that's when I do a lot of my cold messaging. That's when I can focus and not have to get everyone a glass of water. And so that's when I do a lot of my cold messaging and responding and stuff to people. And that sometimes I'm sitting at the desk and sometimes I'm barely keeping my eyes open in bed. So that's something I had to do. And then I guess I would just say my biggest thing about having to learn with Plexus is just that I can't fail. Failure is not an option. And so in the times where I'm like ripping my hair out because my kids need milk or whatever, but I'm trying to respond to this lady, I just have to know that it's going to be worth it. And I mean, it's hard to say like that any other job would ever, I mean, you can't get a raise as much as you can with Plexus in a month or a year. It's just not possible. So Plexus is something that I had to learn I will not fail at, and I can't. And God is so much in Plexus. He like handed me Plexus on a little plate and said, here you go. Because I had been looking forever for some kind of network marketing to do to help with like my income. And so it's from God, and I have to know that, and I have to just believe that he has really good plans for us. So that's kind of all I have.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Oh my gosh, 3 boys. I have 1 boy, and that is enough. I love him to death, but oh my God. Well, thank you so much for sharing. You're absolutely
welcome.
right. Making those little sacrifices now are absolutely worth it. And I know your business has just been thriving because of your commitment. So thank you so much for sharing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to Amanda. Amanda, can you unmute? Actually, yes, you have unmuted yourself already. Go right ahead, love.
Right. My name is Amanda. I have 3 kids. All their birthdays are in June. They just turned 10, 8, and 5. Boy, girl, boy. I joined Plexus for the products, and meanwhile have been praying for several months, even probably a year, for the Lord to give me some sort of opportunity to make an income to help support our family. And my youngest is starting kindergarten this year. So for the first time in 10 years, I will not be home with a baby or toddler, which is, I still haven't even grasped that. So that was part of my prayer. You know, God, what do I do with this time? I want to go get a job. I want to go back to school. I want to go. And so just all these thoughts. And 2 weeks into Plexus, before I even liked the products, because I had a very hard detox, I was feeling the Lord saying, you're doing this. This is your answer. This, you've been asking me, this is what you're going to do for a job. And so it was like, all right, well, here we go then. So my why really is obedience. I feel like God put that on my heart, and he said, run with it. And so I am. And as far as my financial goals, short term is to actually have a real savings account, which just, you know how it is. As soon as you start saving, something breaks and then you need it, or, you know, you have to buy something, or, so we have never had like a full cushion savings account. And so that's my short-term goal, is to just sort of take some of that pressure off my husband to save. And my long-term goal is to give the money away when I get to a point that we actually don't need it, where we have that cushion, and just pray about where God wants to distribute that money. So that's my big goal. So the 2, is that me making noise? Sorry. Can everybody hear me? Mm-mm.
Well, Amanda, I'm not sure where it's coming from. So just go ahead. Oh, yes, I think I found it. Okay, go ahead.
Good?
Yes.
Everybody can hear me? Yes. Okay. So the 2 things I had on my heart to share was, number 1, to get your kids buy-in. If you're married, you probably need to get your husband's support, and you're trying to get him to buy in. And I realize for babies and toddlers, that's not really an option. They don't care what you're doing as long as you're taking care of them. But even like my 4-year-old, you know, on payday, we would go and get an ice cream, and we would talk about the fact that, guess what? Mommy made money from Plexus, and now we're getting an ice cream. And so for kids, little things like that, that little reward that makes the connection for them, that this work that mommy's doing is paying off. And then obviously for my 8 and 10-year-old, that gets much easier. So that was one little thing that I had on my heart, was just include them. We talk about it at dinner. They know when I have Plexus meetings. They know I'm on a call now. They know I'm crazy Plexus lady. I talk about it everywhere. So I have their buy-in. This isn't crazy or foreign to them. They know I work, and they know that they benefit from that. So I think that's important to teach them at even a young age. And then the other thing that was truly on my heart, and I learned this the hard way, was to have a sense of urgency in your business, but don't rush. So have a sense of urgency, but don't rush. And what I mean by that is, when I first started, anytime I got a message or a like or a comment or someone asking for more information, I would immediately drop everything to go and answer this person. Now, that was a bad idea for 2 reasons. One, my kids suffered because, we'd be in the middle of dinner or playing a game or whatever, and they just immediately got put on the back burner. And 2, I wasn't thoughtful in my response. I was just quick. I was just distracted. And so it was like, yeah, I'll tell you all about Plexus, just like this rushed answer. And so that didn't work out well for me. And so what I've learned is to say, hi, I'm so glad you're interested. I really want to spend some time talking about this. Can I call you later tonight? Or can I get my kids settled for nap time? Can I, I'll turn on a movie for the kids or get them involved in something, and then actually call the person back rather than just messaging or texting or responding as quickly as I possibly can. And I found that in taking that time, not ignoring the person, like I said, have a sense of urgency and response. You do want to strike while the iron is hot, but taking the time to make sure your kids are settled in something. They're not fighting or whacking each other or having a crying meltdown or anything like that while you're trying to work. And for the other person who's waiting for the response, that you are giving them the benefit of your full attention, and where you can answer questions and where you can think through everything that they're asking you in your responses. So that was pretty much it. Those were the 2 things that I have found have benefited me the most in working this business with the kids.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I completely agree that my kids are a little older, and having them be a part of your goal setting, be a part of your big dream. There are Post-it notes all over my house with our why, which is to retire my husband at 43. And this next year. And it's all over my house because my kids believe in that too. And I love the rewarding them, get to have the ice cream because, Plexus is paying for that. We're doing the same thing with my kids for Leaders Retreat. They get to come with us to Dallas this year so that they can be a part of that community. I feel like they've invested as well. Now that may be different when you have littles. That's not the same, but definitely for your older kiddos, 4 and up, I think it's just so good to make Plexus a positive part of your life. And that is brilliant. Have a sense of urgency, but don't rush. What great wisdom. I hope you guys were taking notes on that because I did. That was so wonderful. Thank you so much, Amanda. We are going to hear from Kristen now. Kristen.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Hi. So my name's Kristen Zadra, and I am really excited to have come across Plexus. I'm fairly new to it. I'm hoping to hit gold soon. I have 2 little kids myself, and I have a daughter who's 3, and I have a son who's 19 months. And so I totally hear what you both are saying. It's different with the little ones because I've tried to get them excited about Plexus, and it doesn't go very far. They're just like, Mommy, we just need everything all the time, which I love. I love Mommy everything, but it is a challenge, I think, to find that balance that we're all looking for as moms, to figure out how to do this well. And I was just talking last night with Natalie Estrada, who's also on our team, and we were talking about how as women, as moms, our role is to care for our families and to be that provider, and we're supposed to be edifying our family and doing all we can to build our family up. And we want to make sure, like, our goal in Plexus is obviously to edify our family and bring in income so that we can provide that financial stability for our families, but at what cost? So we need to make sure that no matter what we're doing, we're still protecting our families. And so that's been, really big for me in the last few months as I've been on this journey, is trying to figure out what that looks like for me. So I was really humbled when Erin asked me to speak tonight, because I feel like I'm still figuring this out every day. It's just like constant trial and error, and I'm playing around with it. But I feel like that's everything as a mommy. We're always like trying out things and seeing what works and what doesn't. And I think it's the exact same with working a business from home like this. I'm just super excited that I found one that actually produces something, because to back up a little bit, when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter about 3.5 years ago, I instantly started searching. I was definitely focused on my career and everything. Like, I put the brakes on that, and I was looking for every option I could to find a way to stay home, and just was striking out everything that I would look at. And I wouldn't necessarily try it, but I would research it enough to realize it wasn't going to pay off. It was never going to produce enough. Even like Etsy, that tried, like you never make enough to really, at least I wasn't going to make it worth my time. And so that was fine. But here it is 3.5 years later, I finally feel like I found something. And it's such a God thing, because in January, my husband and I took Financial Peace University from Dave Ramsey's program. And we decided no matter what, we are going to be like hardcore pressed to pay off our debt and to get ourselves to a financial place where we are comfortable with our future and everything's in place where we want it. So I was at the time staying home because I had quit working last July to try the stay-at-home mom thing. And we just weren't keeping up with our bills the way we wanted to. We weren't ever going to make progress and kill those debts. We were just making minimum payments. It wasn't enough. So I prayed about it a lot, and I ended up going back to work part-time. I still work part-time on the weekends. But my friend told me about Plexus and introduced me to Autumn, and oh my gosh, like, it wasn't, the neatest thing about it is it was already on my mind that it was a great opportunity for financial reasons. But then at the same time, like, these products were something that I desperately needed that I didn't even realize would be such a help to me. So it was twofold, and I got the double blessing from it, because at the same time I was really struggling to be a good mom and be a calm mommy. And I was super irritable and really quick to yell at my kids because I have a lot of hormonal imbalance. And lo and behold, Plexus is what I needed to calm my hormones. So not only am I getting this opportunity to work from home, but I'm also getting to feel like I'm a good mommy while I do it, and feel like I'm nicer and happier and just a more pleasant person in our household. So it's a real double blessing. So anyway, our long-term goals are to be debt-free, to have me stay home indefinitely. This is our long-term goal, for me to be working this business. And we really, we always have it on our heart to be generous with our resources, but we just can't yet. And we feel so frustrated by that because we're so tight down with the poor decisions that we've made in our years of marriage. And so we're really excited to when our debt is behind us and we have our stuff in order and our ducks in a row, and then we can turn around and be more generous with what we have. The things I think I would share kind of as, I don't know, I would even call it advice, just my own learnings in the last few months. First of all, identifying my time wasters has been huge. And so we all know that as moms, we're crazy busy. We're constantly doing, we're constantly going. There's always things on our mind, always things around us that need taken care of. We never feel like we're accomplishing it all. But I think I was giving myself permission a lot to sit and watch TV at night because I needed to just defrag and just veg for a little bit. And I realized that was producing nothing. And if I'm really as hardcore pressed to pay off debt as I want to be, what am I doing with that time? And now with Plexus, how much IPA can I get done during that time? How productive can I be? And so identifying not just TV at night, but when I'm obsessed with cleaning up the kitchen, when it could just be let go during nap time one time so I can actually use that time to be productive and then wash the dishes later, or scrolling through Facebook, or the things that we do when we get caught up and we don't even realize how much time has passed. So that's been huge for me, is figuring out where I'm wasting time and where I can be more productive. Another thing was just last night in talking to Autumn, I realized, kind of like you're saying, Amanda, about those notifications that would just suck you in. oh my gosh, like I see something pop up on my phone and I'm instantly like, oh, I gotta see who is it who's wanting to know something. And she told me you can actually turn those notifications off. Like I didn't know that because I'm new to Facebook. So I had no idea. So now I'm turning those things off so that when I can actually block schedule my time, and I can do it before the kids wake up, and I do get up early and have my quiet time, and then I work on IPA. And then during nap time, if I get a good nap time in with them, I'll work on it then. And then I'll work on it at night after they've gone to bed. And so those 3 blocks of time during the day should be my productive time. And if I have to respond to something here or there, like a text that comes in, great. But to not be constantly bombarded by those little notifications that are like, oh, come talk to me, to know I have boundaries, and I have healthy boundaries for my kids' sake. So they do get their mommy's attention still. And the last thing I would just add is it's a lot of grace, a lot of praying over my business, a lot of just praying that if this is really where God wants me, which I believe it is, that he would help the business happen, that he would just use me and I would be a vessel for that, not that I have to do and just be like constantly straining my life to make this work, just being available and being productive where I can be. And then showing myself grace when it doesn't work out like I want, or when my kids are frustrated about it or whatever. So those are a few things I've been learning, and also maintaining a more calm home with my toddler who is kind of demanding right now. But yeah, a lot of grace.
I love that so much, because we talk about this word balance.
Mm-hmm.
And really, guys, there really is like no perfect balance, because there are some days that the kiddos are more demanding than other days. And two, I mean, so much of it is a sacrifice too, in both ways. So I think finding what is right for you is perfect. And I absolutely adore identify time wasters. Well, doing this with your thumb is not a producing activity. So I love that. And I've had to do the exact same thing. Thank you so much, Kristen. All right. We are going to move on to Heather. Can you unmute yourself, Heather?
I did. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Heather. I'm a silver ambassador with Plexus. I have 3 kids. I have 2 girls, 11 and 6, and a little boy that just turned 2. So out of the past year, I have spent 7 of those months with a husband who worked 2,300 miles away. And so basically I pulled the single mom gig for a while, which was super challenging. And I did Plexus. So really finding the time to fit everything in took on a whole new meaning for a while there. Our biggest goal, well, I have a couple, but getting out of debt, being debt free is definitely one of our huge goals. Getting my husband to be home so that we can have time freedom as a family is super important. My husband currently works 10 plus hours a day, not including drive time, or when he is around, it seems like he works more than when he has to drive out of town. But just, I feel like we miss so much and he misses so much. And I think everybody has that, where you want your family to be together and spending time together. So the ultimate goals, and then just as we're blessed to be a blessing to other people. I know there's so many times where we wish we could do something or give here or give there, and we can't because, money's too tight for us, or, we need to make this bill payment or whatnot. So those are some of our whys. But time freedom with my husband is definitely one of the biggest ones. Some of the ways that I've managed to do this business throughout all of this, definitely nap time. I've utilized nap time. Something Kristen was talking about with the notifications. So in the beginning, I got sucked into that where I wanted to respond right away to everybody. And I did learn that I needed to turn off my notifications on Messenger, which is where I get most of my messages for Plexus. And I have had to tell my ambassadors, hey, if you need me and you message me and I don't respond and you still need to hear from me, then you need to text me, because I have set aside specific time, whether it's nap time, whether it's the carpool line, whether I get up early in the morning. That's when I'm checking my Facebook messages, not just randomly throughout the day. Something that has helped me a lot is to have stuff set up ahead of time, different responses for different questions, oh, what is Plexus? So I have it already set up, it's already typed out, and I just copy and paste, change the person's name, make it personal, but it saves time. Something that they talked about at convention, Jen Hawkins talked about the shortcuts. I have those in my phone now. I send people the Plexus Slim video from Jennifer Pickett, and it's typed in my phone as, I think it's JP Slim. And as soon as I type in JP Slim, it pulls up the whole link for the video, and I can just shoot it out to somebody in a message. I don't have to scroll through YouTube and find the video again. So I've done that for that. I can't remember what her name is. One of the nutritionists that has a triplex video out. I send her video out, the Plexus Journey video. All of that's just shortcuts in my phone. My website is a shortcut in my phone. So really utilizing things that are cutting back on my time, where I'm not just wasting time typing the same thing over and over and over again, has helped me out a lot. I mean, last year my kids were in public school, so I used the carpool line where I sat for 25 minutes to respond to people's messages. I used Audible for listening to books in the car if we were driving somewhere. I mean, to go to the grocery store, it's 25 miles away. I mean, like a legitimate grocery store. We do have one closer, but to go grocery shopping is 25 miles. That's quite a bit of time of reading that I can get in. We listened to diamond documentaries in the car today when I was running errands and dropping off samples and stuff like that. So, I mean, just really trying to figure out how to work it all in. I mean, working it in the nooks and crannies, but doing things that you don't need to be, completely focused on. Folding laundry and watching or listening to Les Brown stuff, or, whatever it is, just trying to use my time to the best that I can to accomplish the most. I guess some of the tips that I've learned is you can work part-time, but you can't work sometime. Just being consistent. You have to, if you're going to work 15 minutes a day, then you have to work 15 minutes a day every day, not 15 minutes once a week. So just really, making time and being consistent about it.
Thank you. So these are so practical. I absolutely love the shortcuts idea. That is amazing. And I do not have that.
It has saved so much time.
I bet. So you spent a little bit of time organizing, and now it's fast and easy. We should all be looking into that. And yes, you are absolutely right that the carpool line can be a brilliant place to do work. I did the same thing. And Audible, you guys, making your car a rolling university is you know what? And you know what else that does? That teaches your kids. My kids have learned more about leadership in this last year. And I have had, my oldest came to me and said, I think I'm ready for some leadership opportunities. Where could I get that? So, and that's great. They've learned about making goals. They've learned about how to think positively about themselves. You guys, our kids are watching and learning from us. Why not let them hear from the masters too while they're in the car? So it's great ideas. Thank you so much, Heather. All right, up next we have Kayla. Kayla, can you unmute yourself? Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go right ahead, Kayla. Thank you.
Hi. Okay. First of all, I just wanted to put it out there and say, despite my covering makeup job, I do have a black swollen eye, because sometimes us mums get crazy busy and we run around doing everything, and when you run and jump in the car really quickly, you sometimes smack your head on the car door. So I just wanted to put that out there, that I don't always look like I have two different size eyes. So my name's Kayla, and I'm a gold ambassador with Plexus. I am a wife, and I am a mum of 3 little kids. I have a 6-year-old who has autism, a 5-year-old who has ADHD, and a crazy tornado 1-year-old. I am a qualified nurse, and I worked nursing for years, about 4 years, on and off, and not seeing my kids, and I hated every minute of it. I hated that fact that I felt like my childcare was raising my children and I couldn't be a part of that. Getting the, oh, but Mrs. So-and-so said when I'm trying to teach my kids things at home, definitely put into perspective that they were at childcare more than they were at home learning from me, basically. So my husband about 12 months ago got quite ill and hasn't worked for about 12 months. And so Plexus really makes it so much easier for him to be able to stay home and focus on himself and get better instead of worrying about where the rent's going to come from or how we're going to pay the kids' school fees. I'm really blessed with that kind of financial opportunity from Plexus. So I have a really big financial dream for my family, and that is to not just get by in life, responding messages, not too late, obviously. I love Tiny Torch, which is, it like enables me to go through, if I'm awake at 2 o'clock, between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, because my teething 1-year-old just doesn't want to let me sleep, I can go into Tiny Torch and I can schedule all my posts for that day, or, because I know that I'm going to be tired and cranky and not wanting to jump on Facebook and things like that. So I know that I can go and schedule my posts and that I'm still going to be consistent in my posts and things like that. I like to get up earlier than my children because they are so demanding and full on. It's definitely one of those things where you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, okay, it's time, they're up, it's time to go. So I love to get up earlier than my kids so that I'm already there and 100% ready for them when they get up. So I like to do a lot of basically I like to go in and watch recordings of my trainings that I haven't been able to jump on if the kids have been too demanding and things like that. We recently moved 4 hours away from our family, and something that I have loved in the car is putting on leadership trainings and things like that and listening to them in the car. And the kids, they listen as well, and I really love including them. And so that the same thing like with the other girls that have said, you include your kids and they know, okay, mum's just got to make a Plexus call, because we're helping somebody else. And I love the fact that when I stopped nursing, I sort of had this feeling like I wasn't helping people like I could. And, I was being a mum and I was having my kids, but I just had this little bit of an emptiness feeling that I wasn't going out and helping people like I really wanted to. I'd see somebody with a cut down the street and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if they'll let me go and fix that. But Plexus has really given me, don't do that either, guys. Plexus has really given me, filled that gap of helping people. That's what it's about. It's really about helping other people. And the kids, I want to teach that to my children. I want them to know the importance of helping other people. And, they're amazing. We were sitting in the doctor's surgery and my 6-year-old, there was a lovely lady sitting across from us and she kept yawning and she had a little baby. And my 6-year-old said to me, Mum, I think you should give her some Plexus. I said, good idea, love. So they've really taken in the fact that we helping people, and and the leadership in taking that step and going, love, I think you need to try some Plexus, which I do love. Part of involving the kids is they know sometimes I do need to put on a movie and say, okay, so here's some fruit salad, here's some biscuits, you've got a movie, Mum's going to go and do a work call, and, I'll be back out in about half an hour, 20 minutes. And they're fine with that. I do that when it's nap time for the littlest one. But part of their reward in doing that is, I get this amazing pay from Plexus that wouldn't have been there if they weren't able to sit and watch their movie and eat their fruit salad for me. So I try every few months, I try and take the kids out, and I have like a mummy child day, and I take them shopping, and there's things that your kids need. Like you think, oh, I just bought you new shoes, but now you need new shoes again, or where have all your jumpers gone? Seriously. So I like to take the kids out, and I like to have that one-on-one day with each of them, and buy them things that they need, and get them a few things that they don't need that they like to have. And that really shows them, and they know that we were able to get that because of Plexus, and that to them it's great. And it's really, it's an amazing feeling knowing that you can give your kids what you need to give them. Sorry, I just had a mind blank. I like to also include the kids in our goals and have them make an input in them as well. So one of our big family goals is to build our own house, and the kids know this, and they are really excited for building our own house as well. And they see cubby houses, and they say, oh, we're going to build this when we have our own house, we're going to build this, and Mum has to go tonight to this Plexus training, because that's what's going to make her be bigger, and we're going to be able to build our own house then. And so really, really involving the kids is something that I find to be really helpful. So I think I covered everything.
Wow, thank you so much, Kayla. Like, I just have chills right now, because I absolutely believe that doing the family goals and involving them, no matter how young they are, is so, it teaches them to dream big and then actively pursue it. And oh, these are so good. I wrote down several things. Tiny Torch is, again, a great practical idea to use for when you are posting. You said it gives you like a purpose, like you still have that desire to help. And you are so right. That is what this is about. Whether it is helping the mama who's yawning, or it's helping the person who wants to get out of that horrible debt that comes over their head, because finances have been so tight. So I love that. And then you talked about how it teaches the kids how important it is to be considerate and help others, and to go outside of our comfort zone to tell them about it, right? I mean, we are that walking example for them about how to put aside your fears. You go help someone whether you're fearful or not. And I love, 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 love that. Thank you so much.
One of my favorite ever quotes is that your children will do what you do, not what you say.
Yeah. You are so right. I'm writing it down, because I do that, because once we write it down, right, it's just, oh my goodness, it's so good. Thank you so much, Kayla. All right, Rebecca, you are up.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Becca. I'm a Silver Ambassador. I have 4 kids. I have a 6-year-old boy, a 4-year-old boy. I have twin foster babies who are almost 2. And so whenever I started working this business, I started in March. I had my foster babies were in the process of adopting, but they were behind developmentally. They were born 3 months early, and so I had therapies that I had to take them to, and social worker visits, and my schedule was packed. I had a 4-year-old at home, and my 6-year-old was the only one who was in school. So I kept telling Aaron, I have no time. I wanted to start sharing because Plexus had done amazing things for my health. And I started feeling like if I don't figure out a way to start sharing to more people, I just started feeling this huge guilt. So I started sharing because I wanted people to know about this stuff that was making my life so much better. And so my first goal was only to share. And so my financial dreams kind of have evolved from that. I started to feel like, if I share more, I can get some income and maybe pay for these products that I'll need to be on forever. And that would alleviate some stress because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have an income. And so that was my first dream, and I met that goal and I met that dream. And so I had to dream a little bit bigger. And my dream has now evolved to my 4-year-old would come up to me while I'm watching a video or while I'm messaging or researching or doing anything Plexus related. And he'd say, "Mommy, what are you doing?" And I would say, "I'm working." And his face was like, "Mommy works? Mommy doesn't work. She takes care of me. That's her job." But just his face. And then my 6-year-old, whenever when I started making checks and we were able to go and buy more things or do more things, I would say, "This is because Mommy works, and it's from Plexus." And so seeing them be proud of me was such like not that being a stay-at-home mom isn't purpose enough, but it did give me a sense of purpose. It gave me a sense of I am contributing to my family. I have been a stay-at-home mom for 6 years, and so it was huge for me to see that in my little boys' faces and to know I'm showing them that they can do anything, and I'm building a platform for them to have dreams and to think big and dream big. So that was an amazing thing that has come. And now my big goal is to one day retire my husband. He's right now, we're in ministry. I'm a worship leader at my church, and my husband is a part-time youth pastor, but he's a special ed teacher during the day. He's a full-time teacher. But he's been called to be a pastor, which it's near impossible to do that with. He has to have good insurance to pay for my health problems. And so it always seemed impossible. And so now with Plexus, to be able to have that dream, to even conceptualize a possibility of hoping and believing and dreaming of him one day being like a full-time minister because of Plexus has been amazing. And so that's my big goal. How I'm accomplishing goals is starting out, I literally, I don't think I heard of a term of fitting things into nooks and crannies before Plexus, but I was like the queen of nooks and crannies. Any chance I got was, I'm going to learn this business. I'm going to post my posts. I'm going to contact my people in every second. And I learned something that I applied immediately, that if something can get done in 2 minutes or less, do it right now. If it's something that needs more attention, you need to plan it out and sit down and do it. But if it could get done in 2 minutes or less, you do it right then and there. Now I have my babies are now in daytime, like baby preschool, and it's summertime, and I'm actually now going to be a homeschool teacher. So I've had to make the decision to time block and to plan out my day. And the thing that I love about Plexus is it gives you freedom to spend whatever time and whenever time you want to with your kids, or if you have to, because sometimes you don't want to. But for me, I am a procrastinator. I'm not a planner. I'm not an organizer. So I had to learn and decide I don't want to be the mom who's sitting on her phone all of the time. I don't want to be the mom who has these dreams and these goals, but puts it before her kids. So I had to learn that I needed to time block and time manage and make a goal and a plan and find big chunks of time where I could do that, or find a little bit of time in between in my day. So for me, first of all, my husband is super, super supportive, and he's totally bought in. So that's like the biggest blessing, I feel like, because he will let me have the morning to work if I need it. Or if I don't have right now he's on summer break because he's a teacher. So, I'll tell him if I can just get like 30 minutes right now, then I'm done for the rest of the day. And so what I'll do is at the beginning of the week, I'll print out a DMO, daily method of operations, like tracker. And I'll write in all of the people I want to talk to, all of the posts I want to make. And then I'll look at my week. And if I have a super busy week, I'll sit down on Monday morning and I will contact every person on my weekly list. I will plan my posts, put them in notes on my phone so that if I'm out and it's time to make a post, I can just copy and paste it to Facebook and just do it. And I don't have to spend that 30 minutes or however long it takes me to think of a brilliant post. I've already done it and it's already in my phone. And then my phone is a mobile office. I have every single thing that I can need on my phone, and that took time. And I had to block out some time to put all that on and to compile all of that. But now I'm organized, and I'm not a technology person. I hate it, but I had to learn it, and I had to learn to love it because that's just what we need to do. But the other thing that I figured out was I made a group page because I was using my notes and I was like using up all my memory on my phone to save everything. And so I made a group page that's just me and my husband in a group page. And I will make a post on that group page, post it to the group page on Facebook, or I'll save videos that I want to watch later. Anything that I want to come back to, I post onto that group because it's private. It's just me and my husband. And then I can go back into there and grab it off of that group and post it to my page. So that's like freed up a lot of my space on my phone, which is huge. And it's everywhere. So it's on my desktop and my phone and my iPad and everything. So I can access it anywhere. And then the reason that I did all this, the reason why I decided that I needed to get a plan is because, like I said, I'm a procrastinator and I'm not organized. So it has helped me to focus and to have goals and to have a target so that I don't get completely enveloped in my chaotic life because that can happen. And then just so that I'm completely, once work is done, I'm done. And I can be completely present for my kids who are learning from me. So I think that's it. That's all I have.
So good. I love if you can get it done in 2 minutes or less, do it right then. And then everything else, you block the time. I think that's so smart if organization works for you or if it's necessary, then blocking that time and printing out your daily method of operation and writing out exactly what you need to do, I think is so, so smart. And I love the group page. We have to have one other person in a group in order for it to be a group. So, to save your stuff on the page, that's super smart and probably really easy to go back if you want to send somebody, and I just recently was thinking like a little hashtag too, to try and find something in that group I love that. So great idea. And chasing twins is not easy, I'm sure. All right. Thank you so much, Becca. Up next, we have Janelle.
Hi, thanks, Erin. My name is Janelle Fowler, and I am a Senior Ruby Ambassador in Australia. I am originally from California, but have been living here now for 9 years. I have two little girls, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they sound very Australian in English, and it makes me a little sad. So I do still get mom and ketchup. Those are the only 2 words that are still mine. I've even lost Z to Z. So anyways, my financial dream is financial independence. It's why I ran a business previously. I started my own mom and baby products, and I ran it for 5 years and sold it right before I started Plexus. I knew and know I love my financial freedom. I am very independent. I know my husband provides for us, but sometimes a girl needs her own money. And that's what I wanted, my own money. I wanted to go get a massage without feeling bad. I wanted to go get my nails done if I wanted to. And I also wanted to be the person who could also contribute. And Plexus has enabled me to do that. I work both of our accounts, but I am able to put in from Jay's name into the family, and Janelle stays with Janelle, which is good because I'm the senior Ruby and he's the senior gold. So, but what I really wanted as well, so financial independence is a big one for me, but I also want the financial burden lifted and the ability to fly to America with my girls, with Jay when he's available, whenever I want, without worrying about it. I mean, the flights alone would cost around $4,000 for the whole family to go on average. Or I want the chance to say, hey mom, are you available in 3 weeks, and fly her out for a short amount of time instead of the once, maybe twice a year we get mom here. Or any of my other family members. It would be great to be able to fly back and forth without that financial stress. So how do I fit into schedules? I love listening to all of y'all, and I think most of us are probably like, oh, at the very end, we're like, oh, that was on my list. That was on my list. But I'm going to be a little outside the norm in that I love working. I love my children, but I also love to work. And I don't think that is a bad thing. I think my children have learned from me that I am a hard worker, that they will be too. They can be entrepreneurs, that they're still loved, and mommy is happy as well in herself and when she's working too. So one of my things is I was, as I quit my last business and while I was doing Plexus in the beginning, I worked as a marketing manager for an osteo. And the kids Addie goes to school and Olivia goes to daycare. So I could go to work. Olivia loves daycare, guys. I dropped her off at daycare. I think daycare is okay. I know there's lots of moms who want to be home with their kids 24/7. That's fine. I personally am not necessarily that mom, and I think that's fine too. Olivia asked me to go to school. We call it school because then everyone just goes to school and everyone else goes to work. It just makes life easier. She wanted to go to school at 7. I never take her to school at 7. And the daycare workers were like, you're here early. I'm like, she had her backpack on, boots on, ready to go. What, was I going to argue with the 3-year-old for the next hour and a half? So she's at school. But if I had worked my job at the osteo continuously instead of retiring from there, she would still have to go to daycare. She still loves daycare. So instead of taking her out, having her here, trying to fit nooks and crannies, I still send her to daycare. I just have the freedom to choose how often and how many hours and how many days she needs to go. So she never goes more time than Addie goes to school, and she loves it. So personally, I think that that's fine. I also am a mom, and I haven't even said this to my team, but I'm going to be bold and just say it. I'm also a mom who thinks you can put on one Dora episode and go power work for 22 minutes, guys. The children will survive. It's 22 minutes. It does not make you a bad mom. Okay? They probably want to watch that show anyways, but if you intentionally put on Dora and know you're going to power work in that 22 minutes, wasn't it better than them driving you crazy and popping that show on anyways? So be intentional with said TV shows if you decide to do that. My husband's a fireman and does night shifts 2 nights a week. So I really do a lot of work on his night shifts so that I can spend time with him when he is home. I said before some of y'all were on the call that today's a curriculum day for Addison. Lives at daycare on Fridays because it's Friday here in Australia. And so Addie has a play date. That's why she hasn't really been in here except that one time. I got the girls over to have a play date with Addison so that I could still do my call. It wasn't going to matter to Erin that it was curriculum day. So here we are. They're playing. And that's okay, guys. She's perfectly happy too. She's having a great time, and I would have had a play date anyways. I'm just able to work while she's doing her play date. The other thing, I don't know about y'all, but I was a mommy's helper when I was little. I get mommy helpers. So what are those? They're little teenagers that you only pay less money than normal humans to either play with your kids or help you do the jobs you can't do. I told you, I'm not going to be the norm on this call. I have two. They've been working with our family, well, all three of the girls have, for like 4 years. They come over and they either play with the girls if Jay's on shift, or I have one girl do some Plexus Business with me and one girl playing with if it's just one kid home. It's okay to do that. They earn some pocket money. The girls love these girls, and they're like 12 and 15, I think, or 13 and 15. And they're learning to be responsible. They're learning how to grow business. They're babysitting, which we all did anyways. So they enjoy it too. And then I don't feel like, one, I shipped the girls away. I've ignored them. I put them in front of the TV. They're just outside on the trampoline with the other kids playing and with somebody a bit more responsible. So some of the other strategies, non-necessarily kid-related, that I do is, for me, it's kind of like Heather. It takes me about 20 minutes to take Addie to school every day. So I will listen to my trainings then. And I haven't been very good at audiobooks, but I'm going to definitely get those. But I know, like, when I want to listen to a training of whomever, I'll put that on either the way there or the way home. I do try to do it on the way home because 20 minutes talking to your kids where they're stuck in a spot, I think it is important to utilize in talking to them, finding out about their day. So if they're in the car, I do often turn the radio down and just have a conversation of whether it's going on in their life. Tiny Torch is huge. Yes, I still watch TV and could probably kick that to the curb and be diamond a heck of a lot faster. But if I am watching TV, I generally sit there with my laptop and will schedule an entire month of Tiny Torch. Because life gets busy, guys. Your kids get in the way and you really thought you posted. I went to show a girl, oh, just copy from my page. I have lots of Plexus. And I was like, I haven't posted about Plexus in 3 days. Okay? Just Tiny Torch it. Then you know you're posted. I schedule my Zoom meetings for our weekly Zoom with our team for the whole month. So that it's there, we use the same ID, and I have the reminders. One of the other gals said about time blocking. I think that's imperative. So if I am going to send Olivia to school, and that's what I tell Jay, one, I want to try and either get another customer or an ambassador on those days to justify her being at school. Just like I'm getting a paycheck from the Osteo, well, I want to make sure I'm getting my paycheck from Plexus and working that. So time blocking, realistically, what are my IPAs in allocating those times? Because I find the time wasters and time wasting things can go on and on. Or you could go decide on your work day that you're going to go clean the kitchen, you're going to steam, mop the floor, you're going to do all the household laundry, and then work. No, this is your work day. Go work. So, and I make a very intentional thing. Jay will be home from work because it's 4 on 4 off, and he'll be like, hey, let's go get lunch. And I'm all, can't do, it's work day. I'll have to do it tomorrow. So being intentional of your time and where you are going to utilize it and what is best used. So the other thing that Stephanie Murray, our Sapphire, said one time, I don't know if it was in a group or in person when she told me this, but I love it and I do it all the time, like last night. Don't open a message if you don't have time to answer or you're not in the right frame of mind to answer. So if you're having a fight with your husband, your kids are driving you crazy, and you're going to take it out on Sally who just messaged you, don't open the message. You might be curious. You might want to know. Like last night, it was 10 o'clock. Jay really wanted to spend time together, and I said, that's it. I'm not going to open the rest of these messages. It's not time pressing. And then I haven't been rude to them of, oh, I read it and I just didn't respond. No, I just haven't opened it. So therefore, I'm not working. And setting those boundaries are okay. That's what you have to remember. I know Erin is really good about not answering messages after, what is it, like 9 or 10 your time. I just know she won't. And it's like only 4 p.m. my time, but she won't. Which is good on her. I survive till she wakes up at like midnight my time, but it's fine. But you have to make that a priority, and setting your boundaries with your team is what I found, is because that's also enabling and showing them that that's what they should be doing. You always, like one of the gals was saying, you always have to answer right then. No, if it's 10:30 at night, you don't have to answer, and they can probably find that answer on Pink Diamonds, your team page, Diamond Destination, somewhere else than imperatively speaking to you. So I think that shows, one, respect to your spouse or partner, of your quality time with them when it is that time, and it shows responsibility to your team of what you will and won't do. So kind of those boundaries are great. And I think there's one more. If you don't have a supportive husband, somebody said that they had, I didn't have a supportive husband for months and months and months. And they're just sometimes as bad as kids. So work around them. They obviously, like, I love that, including them, asking them for help, and just letting them know it's important to you. My husband was fine with me going to the osteo, and I have to remind him sometimes this is my job too, and I bring in 4 times more than I ever did at the osteo. And they don't necessarily understand, but helping them understand and presenting it that way can help them kind of get on board a bit more. So that's all I got.
So good. There is so much here. Okay, I wrote down a ton. This is choice freedom. That's what you said, that you know, this, and you also said this is a job. You know what? It is. Now, it's a really fun job, and we get to help people, and it has this amazing purpose. But you are right. If you see it that way as a job, and many people go to their 40-hour-a-week jobs, and they don't get a choice of what time they go. And what you are saying is, I would have to go if I didn't do this. This is my choice to do it at this time. And because of that, you know, your little girls go to school. So it's same as if you would have gone to your job that you were doing part-time, and you do not feel guilt over it. And I think that is so key, you guys, because don't we have false guilt all the time for stuff? We do. We feel guilty about putting on the door for 22 minutes so we can have, and you were probably doing that before Plexus anyway. You were just actually having a moment of 22 minutes. Breathing, right? So now you're doing something purposeful. So I think that, so being intentional, what Janelle is really saying is taking those breathing mommy moments, whether it's having a babysit over to help, whether it is putting them at a school for a couple of hours a week or a couple hours a day, and not having guilt over it. You guys, guilt, like, it's just, I'll use an example. So when I was a stay-at-home mom for 12 years, my husband never, ever, ever, ever gave me a hard time about any money I spent. But guess who felt guilty every time she spent money on herself? Did I feel guilty about spending money on the kids? No. Did I feel guilty about spending money on myself? Yes. Every single time. And it's wrong guilt. It's misplaced guilt. And that's what Janelle is talking about here. And I so glad you touched on cleaning. You guys, having a spotless house is not going to make you a 6-figure income. I promise. My house is an absolute wreck. My master bedroom right now is like literally one massive closet. I'll get to it eventually, but right now it is not going to bring me $10,000 a month. You know what is? Investing in my team, investing in my business, investing in people, making relationships, and being more excellent myself. So you know what? Give somebody a job. Pay a teenager to come in and clean your house and help. In fact, my neighbor started utilizing my girls, and she said, we don't usually use babysitters so much, but you're right there. And I'm like, heck, if I would have had that babysitters right next door that I could use, I would. So if you have that, and if you don't, make it. But oh my goodness, so much good stuff. Thank you so much, Janelle. We have one more person. I'm hoping she's still on because I know she's on. There she is. Brooke, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay. So hi guys, I am on a camping trip with family and friends from church, and so sorry if anything gets spotty here because we're on a beautiful lake and I don't see any cell sites around or anything, so I don't know how this will go. But I am a wife and a mom of 2 kids, an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I homeschool both of them. They are at the kind of school where it's a hybrid school, so they actually go to school 2 days a week during the school year, and then they're home with me 3 days a week. I also have an interior design business, and Plexus became kind of an accidental business for me. So, my financial dream was not being accomplished through my interior design business or through the many other jobs that I've had to take on, because interior design is feast or famine. And I have to have a job in my household to keep things going, to make ends meet. And so I've always worked. My husband took on a job right out of college, and he has been in the same company and moved up some, but he's kind of at a place where he is stuck now. After 15 years of being in the same company, he's stuck. And I guess my financial dream is that I can make enough money that he can go and pursue his dreams. He's been working really hard for us and providing really well, but it's not his passion. It doesn't give him joy. He does it. And his dream is to do mission work. And, if I can provide enough for us that he can come home to do that, that he can go out into the world and share God's love with other people, then, I'm going to do everything I can to do that for him. So how do I fit this into my schedule, having homeschool kids at home and running another business on top of this? My story is not nearly as neat and tidy as Janelle's. I am a bit scatterbrained when it comes to making things work. This, oddly enough, is the first summer that both of my kids have been home all summer long. Usually one or both of them are in summer school and camps and other things. And for whatever reason this summer, it just didn't work out. So they have both been home with me. And, I have had out-of-town guests come and stay and all sorts of different things that have made this doing anything other than just like being mommy and playing hostess very difficult. But I do it. So what are the things that I have to do? Some things fall away. Something has to give every time. So yeah, the clean house, not so much. Laundry piles up for a really long time until it's like, the husband finally like pitches in because it's so bad and he doesn't have clean underwear to wear. We pick up dinner sometimes instead of me making a home cooked meal, or, the kids do. They have to sit in front of the TV, or I make them, go and run around the neighborhood and find new friends to play with because mommy needs some time to make some calls or to have some people over. A lot of my team meetings have been glorified play dates where the whole team, brings over their kids and they all just run around the backyard. And we're trying to get some work done in the house, and that tends to work out, and we make it work. And fitting it into the nooks and crannies, yeah, absolutely. I have to get up early or stay up late, or, you know, give the kids quiet time in their bedrooms with books and things like that. Just anything I can do to get some time here and there throughout the day is super important. So, yeah, fitting it in can sometimes be really, really tricky, but I've managed to do it every day, and I managed to grow my team and spend time with the needy customers or the needy, you know, this and that, whatever, but it works out so far. And yeah, so that's how that's going. Strategies. Let's see, what else? Oh, I have to make a lot of, okay, this is what I end up doing. Like if my husband says, oh yeah, you can go to the market, you can go, you know, run this errand or that errand, I'll go and I'll sit in my car in the parking lot for a good like 20 minutes before I go into the supermarket. And then I just like power walk through the supermarket going and doing what I need to do. Cause you know, I need to answer, you know, messages and different things in the car first. So I totally do that all the time. Yeah, let's see. Oh, and I try and figure out what my week is going to look like before I go into my week. So what are all of the things that I know are going to need to get done for the Plexus business, for family, for all those things? I make sure that I have a good grasp on what needs to get done and when it needs to get done. And I also leave a lot of wiggle room for all those unexpected things that come up. So I know, of course, there's going to be unexpected family stuff coming up. I know there's going to be unexpected, I don't know, neighbors coming over or something happens and, you know, hey, come to the beach, or hey, come do this or that for me, or, you know, different things like that. And I just make sure that I try and make enough room and I get enough done when I have the time to do it, so that when those things come up, I can, because this is really about time freedom too, in the end. We want to make time to have the freedom to be able to go to the beach if we want to go to the beach, or to go on that play date if we want to. So that's super important to me too. It's important to make this a priority, because if you don't, it will not be a successful business. You will not be making $20,000 a month or even $1,000 a month if you don't make Plexus a priority. It needs to be something that you spend some time on every single day, because if you don't, people notice. We've had issues with this with some gals on my team who were super into it and putting a lot of focus in on it in the beginning, and then they kind of drifted off, and they noticed, gosh, so did their ambassadors under them, and so did their sales, and people stopped calling or asking questions. And if we're not intentionally doing this every day, we're not being a role model for those people, for the customers, for the ambassadors. And yeah, we aren't going to be consistent in making money. Anything that we did make is easily dropped off. If you're not giving your customers constant attention, you know, checking up on them every once in a while, making sure that they're taking their products and making sure that they know what they're doing and drinking their water and all that business, they're going to say, gosh, it's not working for me. And then all of a sudden they didn't order that month. And now you're down, you know, 200 PV or something like that. And it can ruin your numbers. So yeah, keeping things up, keeping constant contact, making this a daily priority is super important. I think that's all I got.
Thank you so much, Brooke. You talk about these small sacrifices, the clean house, the laundry, and so on. And that, I mean, you guys, I'm kidding. You'd be horrified if you saw my bedroom. But that sacrifice, I have a Lexus sitting in my driveway. Do you know what I mean? Actually, it's in the garage because we made room for it. But I mean, that is what this is going towards. I love the team meetings equals play dates. And I saw Janelle nodding. You guys find ways to do that with your team. I think that's super smart. Do play dates, let everybody go play in the backyard, and you guys all do your work. Planning your week so you have the freedom. So you guys, there's a common theme through everything, right? Through everything that everybody has said, there's a common theme. This is worth it. And you all know it. This is worth it. Let me tell you, this is worth it. Yes, we need, family time. Yes, we need the freedom, but you don't need a clean house, and you don't need perfect laundry done every week. And using your time to go sit in the parking lot for 20 minutes to do a little bit of work, plan to do that in your Lexus in a year, because it's a lot more fun than sitting in your big old huge SUV that you are very thankful for, but the Lexus is so much better. But you guys, I just love, and I love, love, love. You guys are so amazing. This is so good. I have a huge page of notes. And let me just encourage you to, I'm so thankful you guys are trying to get your families in and supporting you. And even if they don't, let us be your family for you and support you. And you guys keep going. It is worth every step, every single day you take a step forward in your consistency in working your business. It is worth it in the long run, I promise. Thank you all for coming on tonight. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. I appreciate you all. And we'll see you on Facebook. Go Plexus. Bye, everybody.